Previously on Top Travel.
We've just arrived in the Amazon and I'm completely beside myself with excitement. Look at the size of the spider.
Who's the king of the jungle?
Please don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall.
So there we had this worm, and I said to her, I dare you to eat it.
Yeah. I'd rather have asthma, thank you.
I don't even eat carbohydrates, so I'm not going to go and eat a worm. This week on Top Travel.
I dare you to eat this.
Do you want to eat it?
No, are you insane?
I dare you to eat it. Come on.
Show me first.
Yeah, I dare you.
Never. Okay, well look here, Janez, there's two. So you'll eat one,
Okay.
and then I'll eat the other.
Okay.
I want to see you do it first.
No, we do it together.
No, you do it first, that's my dare.
So I realized I've called it. And when you call something, you gotta do it.
So I would never in a million years have thought that he would have eaten this worm. So I waited, and he took this worm with all the confidence in the world. Janez doesn't even eat fish.
This is the day I made Jeannie eat a worm, but I've got to eat one first, damn it. I love you, my little wormy. Here we go.
Delicioso, delicioso. Rico. Yeah, man.
You know what's really nice is the aftertaste. It really tastes wormy. It was like eating a Snicker bar.
Now once that dare has been put forward to me, there's just no way I can refuse. I cannot back down. Gone.
You were making me do that.
You didn't even bite it. You just swallowed it without moving and living inside your stomach.
Janez found a Viagra tree.
I actually thought it had Viagra in it, so I stole some of the leaves and put them in my pockets.
Viagra.
Viagra? I think I'm too young for Viagra. So apparently they call this plant Viagra. I wonder why. Next.
What will the jungle come up with next?
We're busy heading upriver to go meet a local tribe from southeast Peru. They're from the Machigenga tribe.
They're hopefully going to teach us some domestic bliss of the jungle. I hope they teach us how to hunt.
Can you shoot a bow and arrow?
I will be able to, but by the end of the afternoon.
You've done enough
I'm quite
today.
confident of that.
Huka Lodge, paka naro igno timagira, same, akapinja pakra pinita pakera.
Welcome to the Machigenga family. They are inviting to have a seat here, please.
Thank you.
Please, have a seat. First of all, to give you the welcome, we offer paint you your face. Well,
Brilliant.
girls are painting to the girls and boys are painting to the boys.
I'm
Excellent.
always fascinated by people who aren't influenced by the Western world, because how could you not be? And it's mind-blowing, actually. I just looked at this family, the granny, the grandfather, the father and his children. I looked at this little boy, and at first I felt sorry for the little boy until I saw the contentment and the happiness in his face. And there's nothing wrong with the fact that they live in isolation.
How have you come to be living in this jungle?
¿Cómo llegaste a vivir a esta zona de la selva?
Yo siempre he vivido en la selva.
I was living all the time living in the jungle.
But what's life like in the jungle? Do you hunt for yourself and do you eat the foods and fruits from around here?
Sí, cazamos, pescamos, pero no lo cazamos así indiscriminadamente, ¿no?
So every day we are not hunting, but maybe we are surviving with the agriculture. We are planting mainly the cassava or yucca. But also sometimes we are hunting animals, for example a tapir. But not daily, like I told you before, because if we are hunting daily the tapir, we can disappear all that species, no? That is why it's very important for us kill only one or two, for example, each 3 or 4 months.
So what I can say about the native family is that as badly as I dance, they dance 10 times worse. They're the worst dancers I've ever seen.
Finally, Janez has learned to dance that he can manage.
But I guess it's traditional dancing.
What is this?
Wow, this one is a typical alcoholic drink that here we know like masato. They are cooking the yuca, you know. They are cooking and later they are putting it in big containers, waiting for the fermentation. And after 5 or 6 days, these people, they are mixing with more water and they are getting this alcoholic drink that is very delicious, really.
And what is it, like a beer or what is it?
It's much better than the beer, I think.
Much better than a beer?
Yeah.
But a beer that smells this strong. I'm too scared to even wet my lips.
Only smell it.
Ooh, no, that's too strong.
Yeah.
You can be the brave one.
If somebody offers me something, I think it would be rude not to accept or not to indulge. And they brought me this beer. And Janez wouldn't even try it. And I thought, when in Rome. And I drank it. And all it is, it's fermented fruits from one of their local trees.
Yeah.
I like it.
This is probably the worst thing I've ever drunk. Thank you.
It just had a very yeasty flavor to it, and it was very thick and pulpy. So it didn't taste very good at all, I must be honest. But the family loved it. Even Junior, his name was Lindor, he loved it. He even had a little milk mustache afterwards. He loved it. He was the cutest little thing.
What really excited me was the, shooting with the bow and arrow.
Doesn't look that difficult.
Yes, it does.
I've got the technique wax, don't worry.
Janez and I had a little contest with the bow and arrow.
Okay, I've got to try that. If Maid Marian could do it in Robin Hood, so can I.
¿Y pa quiero? ¿Y pa quiero este? Esa flecha.
I turned out to be a pro.
Ahí es.
And she kicked my ass.
For the first time in my life, I beat Janez at something. It was a really triumphant feeling.
The weird thing is, we both destroyed the teacher because he was the worst archer I'd ever seen.
It's quite a good sport. I'd like to continue it. I'd like to do it again because it's very, very skillful. And I was just shooting aimlessly, and I think that's why I managed to do well. But I think if you have to aim for a target, it's very, very difficult. So I can imagine hunting for them must be quite a timier steed. Janez and I were on a mission to see anacondas, dangerous snakes, and just one tarantula. I'd really like to see it, if not hold it. So our guides very kindly obliged to take us out at night, because apparently the kind of animals that you see during the day are completely different to those that come out at night.
The jungle's completely dark, and all you have is you and your torch.
It's intimidating enough when you can see all the scenery around you. Now cut all of that light and walk through that jungle with every single sight and sound. You need to rely on your ears and every kind of sense around you, and you rely on the people around you. You've got to really act like a team during a night walk.
Oh, look, the leafcutter ants. They are coming here. And if you realize, oh yes, right there is the entrance. You know, they are working during the night because they have less predator. That is why we can see working more leafcutter ants in this moment.
You hit spider webs left, right, and center. And if you hit a spider web, you break its web, you antagonize the spider, and the spider lands on you. So half the time I was breaking these webs and slapping and panicking and jumping and screaming like a little girl.
There are sounds coming from everywhere. Every tree's making a noise. Under every leaf, something's moving, and it is terrifying. Doesn't matter how brave you think you are, the minute the lights go out, all confidence flies out the window. Come and look at this.
We stumbled across a tarantula, a little baby one, a little cutie pie.
Which I thought was just the most awful experience because the spider was so big, and I thought, well, this is one that we're looking at. Imagine all of the animals that we can't see. Because the jungle is so dense, there could be serious animals all around us, just 2 meters away from us, that we wouldn't notice.
If you suffer from arachnophobia, this is not the place to come for your holiday. Or perhaps it is, because then it'll help you overcome your fear. Oh my goodness, it's moving. Janez.
Our guide was telling us all the specifications about the spider. I wasn't really listening. I was just thinking, I'm going to irritate the spider. So I took a little piece of branch and I was playing with it, trying to get it to go for me, thinking it's never going to even be brave enough to go for me because it was this big and I'm huge. And then it went for me and I basically landed in the bush. It attacked me.
You were attacked by tarantula.
Let's get the hell out of this forest.
No, come down, let's go, I met you.
Come on. Did you see that?
I thought you were its prey, so quickly came to hug
She's
you.
cold sweat.
This is so amazing. The rainforest has been in existence for approximately 55 million years.
And for once, most of the developed countries in the world will actually agree that the Amazon is vital to the survival of Mother Earth and to our existence, the existence of the human race.
Absolutely, and I've definitely developed a new appreciation for this Amazon, especially after doing a night walk, because you really do need to rely on all of your senses so that you don't get bitten or stung, and to notice some of the animals lurking behind you. So we're going to venture off to try and see a snake. Buenas noches.
We've just flown in from South America and I can tell you I'm still itching from the Amazon jungle from all those mosquito bites. And so Jeannie has demanded some TLC. So we've chosen Rotorua, which is in North Island, New Zealand. It's very famous for its thermal mud spas. I can almost guarantee you that I'm not going to be seeing much of Jeannie in the next couple of days.
After being in the Amazon, I had been the victim of some serious abuse. Mosquitoes, no electricity, no hair irons. I needed a good break.
Jeannie needed some TLC, and I also needed some TLC.
New Zealand is very country. It was the perfect place to cool off a bit and just relax after being in the Amazon. It's very green, very, very beautiful.
If we had to go anywhere to go and relax, this was the spot.
Huka Lodge was the perfect place. It was just very serene and ultimate luxury.
So how many rooms did you say were in this section?
This whole cottage is yours for tonight.
No.
Originally, the Allen Pye cottage is a 2-bedroom cottage, but the whole place is for you to stay in. It's fantastic.
What did I do in my previous life to deserve this?
I don't know, but it's yours for tonight.
You've just made my week. I walked into this complex, which I thought was maybe 3 or 4 rooms, and the entire building was mine. Incredible.
This is so beautiful.
It is main living room of the Allen Pye cottage, and you can see it's that beautiful homely feeling with the fire going. As you can see, our interior designer's done a fantastic job, Virginia Fisher. Her idea and concept behind it is really to take the colours from outside and she's brought them inside.
There really is a lovely eclectic mix of furniture and art, and one gets the feeling that you're at home, not in a hotel room.
That's right, so that's what we definitely want to do here at the lodge. It's your home away from home, so that warm feeling has to be brought into the property. You'll see some beautiful artwork throughout the property, like the beautiful painting we have above the fireplace, but also the traditional carvings and the fantastic Maori cloak just at the end of the living room.
On our world tour, New Zealand has to be one of the most isolated countries in the world, but in saying that, it's also one of the most beautiful and purest countries in the world. And to prove that, take a look at the view over there. This is such a rare and beautiful setting.
It is.
What's the romantic story behind its origin?
Well, the romantic story behind it is that it was founded by an Irishman in the 1920s and opened up to the public on the 1st of November.
So it was discovered in 1924, but how has it changed in time since then?
Changed a lot since our current owner has taken it over in the 1980s, and he's made it the first super luxury lodge of New Zealand.
And it's obviously located on the Waikato River. What makes that so unique?
Unique, especially in the old days, for its fly fishing, and Taupo is absolutely famous and a mecca for trout fishing in New Zealand, and the river was part of that.
Throughout South America, Janez and I were together 24/7. Now, I needed my space. So when we got to Huka Lodge, I said, you taking that suite on the furthest edge of the plot, and I'll take that one. Hello, how are you?
Enjoying the cottage?
Oh, I've had such an amazing time. Please have a
Thank
seat.
you. So what do you think of the cottage?
This is exactly what I needed, luxury. After my trip to the jungle, I didn't think I'd get to experience it again.
It's the best of two worlds, where you have privacy and independence at the same time. It has its own kitchen, which you'll find there, which gives you that homely feeling again. And there's a little den and study at the back as well, where you can pull back at night time and just enjoy the fireplace or a game with whoever you feel like.
The view is absolutely spectacular. I think today I've seen every single shade of green.
The view is stunning. The colours of the river are beautiful. And you'll see it will change throughout the day because of the sunlight or even the rain light, which is totally different, but makes it beautiful.
Well, you're not going to be seeing much of me, I'm afraid, because this is exactly what I need. Rain outside, fire inside. I'm going to be curled up with a book for the rest of my trip.
After a couple of weeks on the road, I know Jeannie well enough. I'm definitely not going to get away from her fireplace and her 5-star luxury. Me, I've got ants in my pants. Only 3 days in Rotorua, so here I am at the geothermal wonderland. The thermal wonderland is basically a giant volcano that erupted in 1886 and has created the youngest geothermal ecosystem in the world. Wow, this is really spectacular, but it would be a lot more beautiful without all the cloud cover.
That's not cloud cover.
No.
That there's steam, all right? Steam coming off the surface of Frying Pan Lake.
All of that is steam.
Yes.
How hot is it down there?
A touch temperature of about 66 degrees Celsius.
Now, this is the youngest geothermal ecosystem in the world. When did this eruption take place and when was this valley formed?
Youngest, 10th of June, 1886, 123 years ago.
So since 1886, this entire valley has changed. Is it still changing as we look at it?
Yes, yes. It might be barely noticeable, to our eyes, but there are changes each and every day.
It's quite difficult to get an idea of the topography of the place with all the steam and the cloud cover.
Yep.
But we're actually standing in the middle of a giant crater. How big is this volcanic area?
The caldera of Haroharo, as it's called, all right, is 21 by 18 kilometers in diameter. It's huge. 460,000 years old. You'd have to be in an aircraft some way up looking down to appreciate the size.
So where are we off to now?
Well, we're going up to Mount Hazard here and show you Inferno Crater, the jewel of the valley, as it were. Beautiful blue, known the world over for its colour and postcard shots and all the deal. People often commenting about its view as waiting for the dinosaurs to come over the rise,
I see what you mean. This really looks like a scene out of Jurassic Park.
Absolutely. I mean, look at it.
It's phenomenal.
You're waiting for a head to come over the top.
Okay, let's move along. Wow. Barry, this water looks so hypnotic. I feel like ripping my clothes off and jumping in it.
No swimming.
Why not?
Well, for a start, that's not water. Hydrochloric acid, pH of 2.1. It's a bit hot. It's about 40 degrees. That would eat you. You go in there, there would be not much of you coming back out.
Oh my goodness, it's not a good idea.
As not be happy, no, not be happy.
I've never seen water quite that turquoise. How come?
Very fine-grained silica is in suspension to the fluid, so we have a bit of light refraction, okay? And also the silica reacts to the acidic nature of this fluid.
Now we've braved the rain and the cold, we've walked for an hour and a half, I've completely sopping wet, and I can understand why this is called the jewel of the valley. What a rare sight to behold. I can't quite get my mind around this, to see such a big lake steaming and boiling.
Welcome to the world's largest hot spring. Okay, it's again a touch temperature of about 66 degrees. You're looking at a lake that was formed in 1917, remembering, of course, it occupies an 1886 formed crater. Okay, and that's what we have here, with a bit of energy going on at the bottom. There's the outflow of the lake runs out here below us. Very strong, powerful, new, all of those adjectives. It's a quite the rare process in terms of an eruption.
The whole landscape just keeps on evolving.
As it should. Given the circumstances, it's doing exactly as it should.
Everything takes time.
Time. Oh, time. There we go.
One thing about New Zealand, and it's to be expected, is the weather's not going to be good. But we didn't go there for the weather.
Rain, 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 rain. And then it rained.
But somehow it suits what New Zealand is all about. The great thing about Huka Lodge is you have this amazing sense of privacy. On a rainy day like this, it's the perfect way to just unwind and relax, absorbing the heat of the fire. And you honestly feel like you have the freedom to do whatever you want. Some more wood on the fireplace. It's completely private. You've got no sense of other people being around you. The river's in front of you. So obviously I walked around in my underwear the whole day. Total freedom. In my undies.
Well, you're not going to be seeing much of me, I'm afraid.
Good. Sorry, I'm going to have to say that probably.
So you're probably not going to be seeing a lot of me. I am I'm an idiot.
Next week on Top Travel.
There's two things in Janez's life that he loves. His son and Roger Federer.
I haven't played tennis in a while, but I fancy myself a bit of a Roger Federer.
Massive plastic balls. And then you've got to climb into the middle of it and roll down a hill. I mean, who thought of that?